tell us what we need to do.
Yep, so I mean, signage is gonna be one thing. Essentially, we can't enforce anything on that road unless it's clearly marked at the beginning by County Road 15, and again, where it enters Big Lake Township.
Call the meeting to order. If you can, please rise and remove cover. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Item number 2, approval of the March meeting minutes. Are there any changes, corrections? Hearing none, can I get a motion for approval of the March meeting agenda?
So moved.
Okay, I have a first here, second by Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the consent agenda. Any changes, corrections, questions?
There are no additional things.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything? Hearing none. Can I get a
Move to approve.
first by Dalton,
I'll second.
second by Peter? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff's report.
Good evening. This last month, in February, there was 120 calls for services or CADs that were generated for Orrock Township by the Sheriff's Office. Some of those notable ones were to include 2 stop arm violations. One of them occurred at 239th Ave and 185th Street. No license plate was able to be gathered by the bus driver on that one, so that one was unsolved. The second one occurred on 253rd Ave and 189th, and that driver was identified and dealt with accordingly. There was one property damage accident in Orrock Township. One property damage incident, and that was involving a vehicle that hit a railing guardrail in front of the liquor store at Sammy's Spirits. So that person was identified and added to the report as well. We had one missing person CAD generated. That person was initially called in because they weren't where they were supposed to be and no one had heard from them, but a few hours later they turned up and contact was made, so that one was cleared out. There was one motor vehicle property damage accident at County Road 5 and 263rd Avenue, and that was a rear end type of accident with no injuries. Traffic complaints, there was a couple, again, it was driving conduct, suspected drunk driver. Snowmobile complaints, we had that pretty good snowfall, obviously a few weeks ago, but in February there was 5 enforcement activities with snowmobiles in the county. And that's something that routinely will happen, and we're going to start up with ATV enforcement now, and keeping an eye out for that with the county ordinances. And then I just wanted to point out a recent thing that was brought to my attention yesterday that we're currently investigating was the complaint of possibly overloaded trucks in the refuge on 233rd Ave, resulting in logging that's being done by the DNR and the sand dunes for us. So we're looking into essentially the requirements to enforce that, and we're still kind of in the early stages of it, but I will consult with State Patrol as well. Deputy Cole Petrosky and I have worked together. I was out there last night, took a bunch of photographs to document everything. Deputy Petrosky was out there today as well. Signage is a requirement by the Township resolution. I think it was Resolution 2015-1230. And that, from what I read, was a 5-ton load limit per axle on 233rd east of County Road 15. But by state statute, as said in the resolution, it does say that the road has to be marked with signage, so the township would have to erect signage and maintain the signage for it to be enforceable at either end of the road. So I can come up with a more in-depth requirements of what's required in the state statutes that you guys can review as well if you'd like, and I can provide that, to you or Shelley here at a later date, just so that you guys are aware. But it would require a lot of signage throughout the township. It's technically every road would have to be marked on either end.
I thought if we had it on our main entrances of roads coming into the township, that covered all roads in the township.
No, unfortunately, by statute, it says the specific roads entering the township. And I can double check that, but it's not just on the main county roads, from my understanding, and Deputy Petrosky.
Right, I understand that, main, but if we,
It would have to be on the main entrance of every township
Yeah,
road
so
coming off
County
County
Road
Road.
15, for example, is a county road, which is typically a 10-ton limit. And there's no signage on 233rd coming off of that county road. That would have to be marked to let drivers know that it is, you know, a lesser limit than the 10-ton. It's kind of like the speed limit. If a road is not posted with a speed limit sign, it defaults to 55 miles an hour. If a road is not marked, it, by state statute, defaults to the 10-ton limit, which would exceed maybe what you guys had built the road for or what it's designed for, but it has to be properly marked just like a speed limit sign, is my understanding. So like I said, I'm still doing a lot of research. I'm going to talk to the State Patrol DOT. It does make it difficult to enforce these trucks. There's a lot of nuances. There's an exemption for raw forest materials. So any logging truck carrying raw forest materials, technically there's an exemption where they can be over a limit. So same with milk trucks, same with grain trucks. There's a lot of exemptions for some industries and agriculture, so that comes into play too. So there's kind of a lot of moving parts with these types of things, unfortunately. So something that we're definitely looking into. It's just going to take a little more time, and I can put something together and put it out to you guys. So.
Okay. And again, my question would be on the exemptions for over the limit. I understand that, but does it also include over the limit during road restrictions? So that's two different times of the year?
Correct, yep, so March 3rd is when they came into effect this year. So they are currently in effect.
Yep.
That, I can't answer that off the top of my
I
head.
know you can't, but that's something I'd like
Yep.
to keep that, it's a secondary question to not only
Right.
the exemption on non-road restriction,
Yep,
but
during the
does the exemption
restriction.
count during road restriction? Because that wouldn't make much sense to me. Why would we have road restrictions if we're gonna have exemptions?
Exemptions.
yeah, and that's where I thought the signs had to go up.
No. I knew the
And I thought we
other
put them,
people.
I should say, they've been on the county roads that still enter into our township, on the same signs.
From things that I've,
I'm thinking
for
of
example, when I
75.
took 233rd Ave and it turns south into 147th, which enters Big Lake Township. At the beginning of Big Lake Township on that little 147th, that's clearly marked 7-ton load limit by Big Lake Township.
Yeah,
Coming back into Orrock on
It's not.
147th the other way, it's not.
it's not marked.
So the way that we understand the statute right now is that
I
every
think you're
road
right.
has to be clearly marked on either end, any road coming into the township, not just the main ones.
And I think you're right. Would it help for this particular problem that we're having on 233rd for us to go ahead and mark that road for now?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you guys get signage up, I think that it would be enforceable.
Okay.
And then the drivers will know, because I mean, there's, I'm assuming these trucks, I couldn't quite read the company name, and the picture was kind of blurry. But none of these guys are from the area, I assume they're coming in and just pulling in the road, and if it's not marked, they're not gonna know it's a 5-ton or 7-ton or whatever, so.
So given that that he's here, we're having this discussion, are people inclined to make a motion for us to allow Daryl to put up the signage that our ordinance allows in order to mitigate what's going on 233rd?
I think for that road, it's fine. I don't want to do it on every single road in the township,
Right.
but I think it makes sense to do at least this one now, and then do we start exploring other roads that are going to the state forest? Because if it's not going to a state forest, we don't have to worry about this problem nearly as much at all.
Yeah, those
But
up on the
I
county
think at least for now, we do just 233rd, take care of the short-term problem.
Yeah, and Deputy Petrosky also checked 235th, because there's that north entrance into, so technically those trucks could come out through the north loop and out onto 235th. There was no marked signs there either, and technically that's also a road they could use. So
Okay,
You almost have to, I'm just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
that
no,
Primarily, it looks like they're using that 233rd, but they could then start bypassing that and taking another road that
Okay.
leads to it, so just something to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
So.
okay, so I would make a motion that we erect signs according to our ordinance on weight restriction on 233rd and 235th, on
Both
both
ends.
ends.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Just to clarify, any of the roads that are coming into that from the state.
I'm sorry,
forest-
could you identify yourself for the record?
Yeah, sorry, Kevin Kruger, Township Engineer.
Township engineer, thank you.
So any of the roads that are coming into that road also need to be marked. So at any point, when they get to that road, if there's any route that they can take to get to that road also has to be marked. It's not just the ends of the road, it's a very convoluted way of it.
So essentially anything from the county road to get there.
Even if there's like the DNR roads that are coming into the road, those would also have to be marked then as well.
So for example, this, Peter, I just want to make sure that I noticed the right spot that you were talking about in the photograph. So it's kind of that little asphalt apron coming off 233rd as you're leaving the gravel.
Yep.
There's those two indentations where it looked like something, I had made
Big
those
indentations.
indentations. So how he's explaining it, to my understanding, is leaving the refuge or state forest.
Land, that has
From
to
the
be marked as
gravel,
well.
turning onto, that has to be marked
Yep.
as well.
As well, okay.
So, yeah.
But there aren't many on and off roads from 233rd.
No, there's.
No,
maybe
no,
two.
over on 15th.
Yeah,
No,
there's-
and then there might be the northern one.
On 235th, there might be.
That's back down.
So I would amend that motion to include all arteries.
Can I just ask a question first?
Sure?
It has to be at the entrance of that road or where we want to have this begin. Can we move the sign down closer to the areas where they're coming out of the forest?
But then they drive halfway down the road till they
Yeah,
see the
and
sign.
that's gonna
Then
be
where do
the
they turn
problem.
around?
No, I
Somebody's
mean-
driveway? With a logging truck?
If they're committed to a road and then they see the sign farther up. It does by statute, the way I read it, says at the beginning of the road. So, because the problem you could run into is I'm driving 2 miles down, whatever path, and then all of a sudden I come across the sign when they're
This way.
already on a road that they're not grading for.
I'm thinking it's the problem
So you have one there.
is the weight,
And then
yes,
this is
but the problem also is
here,
going from the
But then
gravel
this all,
to
right here is where it dead ends.
the
And
pavement.
then this is all.
Yeah, and
That's where the heavy.
I understand that, but
break is.
if we need to do it at both ends.
Because this is, yep, this is all.
That's the state statute. It's the same with speed
Once you get
signs.
past this.
I
I understand there's
The
the
speed
speed
turns
signs.
to gravel,
Yeah.
and it's gravel.
I don't see the value
As well.
of it being
And then it's, like
farther
he's
up
saying, is even those side
versus
roads need to be
where they
marked.
go in and out of
HOAs.
the wood.
But-
No,
Forest.
no, off the.
But they're coming,
Oh,
what
off
if they're
the-
coming off of 5?
Here.
Yeah.
They
That's
turn
what I'm
down
saying.
and they go,
That other
they go
little
down a
drawing
mile,
So it's.
Yep.
and then all of a sudden we have the sign. Now we have a
They're
logging,
empty.
we have a logging truck there. They're gonna turn around in somebody's driveway?
No, the logging truck is empty. They're going in to get a load.
So they're underweight, you're saying?
Yeah.
They're fine.
They're fine.
It's the
going
problem
in.
is now they know when they come back out, if they're overweight, they're in violation. So I'm saying put them both ways, but down closer to where the actual work is.
I don't think by statute we can do that. I think it has to be at the end of the road.
And I can provide you guys with the state statute and you guys can, because I'm not an attorney, so I'm not gonna claim to know.
But our engineer knows.
Yeah, so,
Depends on who you're gonna get in trouble with, the lawyer you talk to, but generally speaking, you need, it's just like a speed limit sign, so like, it's just like a speed limit sign, just like he was sharing, so like, you don't ever really see a road that's marked, coming in, it can be 10 ton, but going out, it's only 9 ton. You're gonna end up in a pickle if you try to write a ticket in a spot like that.
yeah.
You're not gonna be in a very good spot, because you made that truck driver come in thinking it's a 10 ton, and now I'm leaving and all of a sudden it's a 9 ton, well, how would I have ever known that? They're gonna look at
Until they were loaded and turned around.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then, did you see any of the damage like in the fall prior to, or no?
No, not in the fall.
Okay, because I wasn't, trying to determine when exactly this occurred. We don't know for sure that happened in the last week.
Yeah,
That it happened.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
when we were, when I haven't talked to Daryl about it, but I'm under the impression that he was in there and graded that area
Mhm.
to kind of make it smoother.
Yep.
Now, whether or not the winter and stuff like that, because cars coming in and out of there all the time. It's
Yeah,
pretty
so
bad.
the gravel's gonna always deform. So
Deform a little
there's divot on the crater, and I
Mhm.
think that's half the problem, is the grade from the gravel is not meeting the asphalt grade, so naturally there's a bump or there's gonna be more force impact on that asphalt. And it may not be properly even packed,
Mhm.
behind it, which
So-
causes to the.
And I'm just kind of documenting that, just so,
Yeah.
if there's future more damage, or if the
Yep.
asphalt starts breaking up, say, hey, I took pictures
Oh,
before
yeah.
this and after
Yep.
that.
It's just gonna keep working. its
It'll
way.
just keep working its way
So
out,
the-
so.
I've created a sheriff's office case number, and I can include that in the email or provide
Okay.
it now if you want. Like I said, it's still under investigation, but I took a lot of photographs. I included the ones that you took.
Okay,
We've got a couple of reports under it right now.
Okay.
Still a work in progress, but this will all be documented nonetheless,
okay, good.
and taken care of that way, so.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, so we still have a motion on the table.
It's a
What's the
motion.
amendment?
The amendment was to include arteries.
Arteries.
We need a second for the amendment.
I need a second on the amendment,
I'll second it.
okay, for discussion.
Just a little bit of background, historically, this is how you guys have always handled these situations, was once it's an issue, you go out, you put up some signs, instead of trying to sign the entire township, it's more of like a spot, keep an eye on it, this is how
Yep.
you've historically.
Thank you for that.
So how many signs are we talking here, if we're talking all these arteries?
Inlet, outlet, so there's two. There's a couple of arteries on 235th, so there might be 2 or 3 on that one. And then there's only just the one, it'd be the entrance and exit off of 233rd, and then that DNR
At
road.
DNR Road,
There's 3 there, so it might be
10 to 15, somewhere in
not even.
Not even.
Not
there.
even.
And how much are we talking for? I know signs are relatively cheap, what's Daryl's work?
We
It's
just do it-
hourly.
Yeah, it's hourly, it's a handyman contract.
Handyman contract hourly. I think it's 35.
As much as it's gonna cost us to repair.
I was gonna
the
say, so
roads.
it's gonna be
How
less,
much is it
it's gonna be less than $1,000.
And it's less than the cost to repair the road.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm trying to figure out, less than $1,000, it's pretty, okay.
Unless to repair the road.
Did you already second it, Peter?
He did second the
Oh.
amendment. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, so yeah, I just wanted to touch on the road thing quick, so I appreciate you guys' time for that, otherwise that was the end of my spiel. So any questions or other concerns I can pass along? Otherwise, like I said, I'll continue to kind of finalize our case
Sure.
and, provide statutes and stuff, and the case number and all that stuff to Shelley, and she can disseminate it to you guys
Okay.
when that's complete.
I guess one more question, the missing person,
Yep.
was that the girl, or is that?
No,
The girl
that was a different
January,
one.
wasn't it? It is different?
Yep, that was a different.
Found,
Yeah, yep, so they turned, it was an adult,
Okay.
it's just someone that the family hadn't heard from, he was supposed to be at a certain place at a certain
Gotcha.
time, didn't show up. I don't know if his phone was dead or something.
okay, I was gonna say, I didn't hear about one.
No,
that's
so
something.
then a few
Okay.
hours later. they
Okay,
showed
sounds good.
up, and that was clear, so.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you for the extra time and the detail. I know Peter and I started this on Saturday, and I said, call the sheriff's office. And
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I just got it yesterday, so it's, yeah.
but there was somebody out there on Saturday, so I know that there was some stuff. Somebody went out and looked at it, and we
Yeah.
did have some action,
Okay.
at least taking some, looking at it for us. So we very much appreciate the responsiveness of the sheriff's office.
Yes, and we'll, like I said, it's all gonna be documented now with photographs, as to the existing conditions, so, for the future reference.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Okay, open forum. Do we have anybody here for open forum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, you guys can call it out. Greg Felber, 25409 just gonna check one thing quick. 25409 189th Street, Big Lake. I saw that the flag issue was on the agenda for today. And under a completely different thing, I've been doing some research on the Minnesota state flag issue. The Minnesota state flag is legally required by statute to be flown over the Capitol. It is very well defined in that same statute as to what the Minnesota state flag is. That is the only place by actual statute that the Minnesota state flag is required to fly. Now, by Minnesota court rules, which also hold the effect of law, they are required to have the Minnesota state flag displayed in a courtroom, somewhere near the bench, while they're actually in active court. It does not have to be displayed if they're doing court by Zoom. So there are some state rules for administrative things for state buildings, but none of those have any effect on what legally a local government might do. The main thing with the flag is not really so much the flag itself. It's a lot of people resent the way the state flag was changed. They thought that they should have more of a say in it. I agree with that personally. I think that people should have had more of a say in the choice of the flag. Now, Orrock Township has traditionally not displayed any Minnesota state flag, so it's probably not a super big issue here unless they were to suddenly decide to go out and buy a state flag. But that would be it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else here for open forum? Second call for open forum. Third call for open forum. Moving on. Item number 6, approval of meeting minutes for February monthly Board of Audit meeting. Is there any changes, concerns, anything? Hearing none, I'll make a motion. Oh, Paul made a motion to approve. Can I get a second? Second by Peter. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Abstain. That was there.
Oh, abstained by Dalton. He was not here. No, not for the
No,
Board of Audit
this
meeting in
February.
February. He wasn't
I was in
here.
Ohio.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Are you good, Shelley? Okay. Moving on, regular business, number 7, presentation of draft annual meeting minutes. No action required. Just, there they are. The person that signs that would be Boaz and take care of that as he was the chair that night. Okay. Item B, recycle day update. Madam Clerk?
So this is the green card we're going to be giving out. Brenda did make a few changes. The prices are still going to be the same, but there will be a little bit more detail and to the sizes of the televisions. And then that Minnesota Pollution Control logo will be at the bottom. Price is just a little bit more than it was last year. We only had 14 new residents come into the area, so $619 for printing and mailing, postage $423, total will be $1,042.
And I believe that's already part of our ordinance or resolutions that he paid for without,
Yes, this is just to let you know what's
without
going on.
needing a motion for
No, you don't
that.
need a motion.
Okay,
It's
that's
just
what I
to
thought.
update you.
All right.
And there's grant money to
Yep.
help with the cost.
SWCD, okay, moving on, item number C, SWCD contract, discuss and action. All right, so this has to do with our plantings and such.
Yes.
Shelley's been handling this all along. So Madam Clerk?
So this is the native habitat project that has been going on for the last couple of years. And I spoke with Franny and Francine, who both are the people who pretty much maintain everything. And they sent a new invoice and a new contract for this year. And I just need you guys to make a motion to approve that.
Is there any questions or discussion on this? Anybody have anything?
Is
Shelley's
this a
well versed.
yearly thing that we're gonna be doing perpetually, or is this program going on temporarily?
Yes, pretty much, because it'll be less every year, because as we keep the noxious weeds out, then they should not come back. Maybe one here or there, but it will have to be maintained to a certain extent. And we also will have to have somebody come in and do some mowing in April,
Okay,
which will be a main project.
thank you.
Hearing no further discussion, can I get a motion to approve $428.03 for services to Soil and Water Conservation District?
So moved.
Peter made the motion,
Support.
second by Paul. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Item D, Ann Lake update. So, a couple of things. Paul and I did have a chance to meet with the Ann Lake representatives two days ago. And during that meeting, we did have some very good discussions. Now, before we get to that, there is something new that we just came in today. I did have an update from Tim from the DNR. We chatted with him about the inspections that they were doing. I asked him if they needed anything from us, and he said as we go through the forms, we'll reach out if we have any questions. Discussions about the building and the outhouse, which that's gonna come in a little bit. We'll have further discussions about that. We'll have communications both with us and with the Ann Lake Association members. They think that they're gonna be able to make some nice improvements to the parking lot signage, and they're considering a new dock at this time. So that was the last conversation that I had literally a few hours before I got here. So that's an update that nobody knew until right this moment, including my board and Shelley and the audience. So, that being said, Paul and I worked with them in making this, we're still having discussions about the interim agreement between now and any time, potentially, if the DNR was to take the property, we would like to have an interim agreement worked out while we're waiting to see what happens with the DNR. And we just wanted to make sure that this board is still in favor of us working on an interim agreement while we're pending the work that's going on with the DNR and their discussions with us about acquiring the property.
I would like to add the interim agreement, if at all possible, to help them out, is if it could be listed as a lease for the time period that we agree upon or approve. Simply because we found out at the last meeting that the donation box that they have at the landing is about half of the funds that they operate on. And it's illegal to,
Well, illegal's illegal's a strong word, but
it's questionable whether they can keep that donation box there without some kind of way of handling it. And I just said, our intent isn't to if we come up with an agreement or have an agreement, to have them also lose half of their normal revenue to help treat the lake and so on.
Why would it be illegal? So I know we have to keep it open to the public, but if it's a voluntary donation, why would it be illegal?
there were some questions, and I did talk with the DNR about this. There's some questions about the posting about it. Where is the money actually going? What is it for? If the DNR, if we own it, why aren't we getting it? If they're thinking they're on township property. If it is the DNR's property, then of course they're gonna want assistance. And if somebody's donating money, are they donating it to the DNR? we had some discussions in this meeting about putting that, you know, maybe closer to the house, the shed. Until we get some really good clarification on it, there were some questions about whether or not it should be there. So, I asked the DNR if there were any on any other landings, and he was like, not that he was aware of in his district. So that was a,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's clearly marked that it's for the Lake Association, correct?
I'm sorry?
It's marked that it's for the Lake Association, correct? The donation box?
It asks for donations, not a fee, which is what we were
Yep.
told was fine a while ago. And it says what it's used for, aeration, control of invasive species. It lists on the sign what the donations are used for.
does it say to the Ann Lake Association?
I don't think so, but I'm not 100, I don't know for sure.
Oh, and I do appreciate your update on the water line, by the way.
I was way off.
I
sorry.
know, thank you for that.
Is that something that's easily changeable? I don't know what the, I can't remember, I've been over there a few times, I don't know if it's a metal sign, I don't remember if it's
No,
laminated.
it's a wooden, we made a bunch of signs to mimic DNR signs, and it's right the very first sign you come in. That's the very first one, and it
Yeah.
says,
And I think that was part of it, part of the discussion that I had with the DNR is that it does look like a DNR sign, and we assume that it's going to the DNR if
Is
they're
it-
doing invasion.
Is it something we would put like a laminated thing that says this goes to the Ann Lake Association?
Well,
Does that
that's-
clear it up?
That's what we're gonna check with our attorney.
Yeah, we're gonna check on that.
But,
I did
but do we
make a-
have to make them take it down in the meantime? Because that's what I don't want to happen. We're coming up on the time when people are putting their docks in. I would rather it stays there at that time so they keep getting the donations. I'm trying
I
to
think
think,
we have to have an opinion from the attorney.
I did,
Because
I
right
did
now, we
leave a
have no
message.
agreement.
I did leave a message. Right now,
Okay.
we have no agreement. Right now, that's our landing.
okay,
And we are paying for everything. Damage-wise,
Mhm.
cleanup-wise, all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So, again, we're talking about in the interim agreement. Okay, so,
I know, I'm afraid if we don't get an answer by April, the lakes are quickly thawing. I don't know what Ann Lake looks like. Eagle Lake on the north side is starting to thaw. You're talking a couple weeks here, there's gonna be boats out there. I just don't want it to get to open water season and we not allow them to have that boats out there.
well,
Nor
there's,
do they want that.
Yeah,
right, well, and there's some other issues that we need to discuss about that, would, might not even make it viable yet to put any boat in that lake. So, and as noted by the DNR, as well as the Ann Lake Association, the planks are in need of repair.
And you should have pictures, right? You should receive the pictures.
I didn't receive
I was
any.
gonna say, I don't remember pictures.
Oh, I thought you
That's what
said-
Birch Lake looked like too.
Are you talking about those?
Yeah,
Yes.
And then there's those, which ones?
same thing, they're fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So, I mean, there's discussion, obviously the DNR is well aware. It's noted in here that it says, for the short term, for the short-term assessments, the boat ramp is in need of some minor repair. For long-term, we can make nice improvements to the parking lot signage and consider a new dock. So I'm looking at, I sent back a message, haven't gotten one back yet from Tim. Again, it was end of work day, saying, hey, short-term, does that mean you guys are gonna work on this? Or is this something that we're taking care of? So I asked the question, haven't gotten anything back, but there's that.
And the comment was made in our meeting that this is the lowest the water has been. That's why the joke was about.
About the water line.
The water line is the lowest, but they're anticipating the water to rise back up. But it's lower than, I want to say, the committee from the club has seen.
So legally, our land goes, that's why we were talking about water lines. Our land is to the water line, which is now 920, whatever it was he sent me. We have an update on it.
It's
Right,
the high water mark.
high water, the water mark,
Yeah.
above sea level. That's where ours begins. the question is, those are in the water, those would be in the water. So normally,
All of those would normally be in the water?
not the, no, the top,
Oh,
not
okay,
the
I was
top
gonna
ones,
say.
not the top
Well,
ones.
that's the problem, is the top one, is the worst one.
And then down below, some of those on the down below, the middle section would probably,
Sure, but the biggest problem is the one that's out of the water at the top.
right,
But there's concern about the top ones also because of backing the boats in, damage to the trailer of the boats, to the towing
That
vehicle.
first two right there, they're heaved up.
Oh, yeah.
so we're gonna go have ongoing discussions about that, but that is something that we're gonna have to, look at and consider doing something with,
But to
or not.
answer your question, the club, Ann Lake Club, is not meeting as a club until the 20th,
April 20th.
April 20th. So I mean, we will be having some
We're gonna,
time crunch.
yeah, we're gonna meet with them.
But, yeah, there's
This
gonna
is
be,
what
there's
the
gonna be votes out there
census-
before then.
Pardon?
Pay
Oh.
here, launch fee, $5.
Yeah, and then there's a sign.
Right, so it does say, you know, it says here donation, but then the sign here says launch fee. And I think that is probably where the concern is that that's a launch fee and you can't have a fee.
Sure, but that one's more paper, that can be changed easy. The sign, the wooden sign,
Yeah.
clearly says donation. What I'm saying is, can we replace that pay here, the paper laminated sign, and say something, this benefits Hand Lake Association? Does that clear it up so then they can keep it there and get the fees?
Well, a couple things. The launch fee sign has to go. And I think that we need to have something, if we work on this, that says the box needs to kind of be over here and that it benefits the Ann Lake Association. This is not affiliated with the DNR. And I think we need to clearly say that it's not affiliated with the DNR.
Yeah, I mean, it even says
Well-
money donated to, we could put.
To us, no.
Well, it's to us
Yeah.
now, until we get an interim agreement. But they're not, I don't make them fix a sign to give us money. I mean, I'm not
That's
gonna
what,
do
that's what
that.
I'm trying to say, is to change the sign now for an agreement, because we don't know how fast or
Either way, the launch
how
fee
slow
sign
the
has to.
DNR is.
But can we even agree on that? If we just get rid of the launch fee
Yeah, the
sign
launch fee sign
and
has to
keep
go.
that rest of that wood plaque, whether it says who it's going to, it says, clearly says what it's for. Whether the money goes to us and we pay for it or goes to them and they're doing the aeration, I wanna continue to receive those funds to keep up the
Well,
maintenance of that.
to be clear, we will not be doing any aeration.
Yeah.
So that's, again, we can, that's a whole bunch of things with the
Sure.
DNR, that's not ours, we can't.
Mhm.
So that's theirs. Whether it's used to fix this or whatever, but I think, I do agree what you're saying, that the launch fee sign, no matter how this goes, has to come down.
For legality
For
reasons.
legality reasons, because you can't charge to get on the lake. Leave the brown sign up for now, take the other one down, and leave
But
it.
leave the box.
Leave the box,
Yep.
but don't put another sign up on top of the box.
Okay.
Don't do anything with it, just leave it.
I'm good with that.
Okay,
And then I'm assuming they continue to collect the money, we're not handling the money or anything in this interim.
it's not our sign, it's not our,
I'm good with that answer too. As long as it's not us, because then we have to set up protocol and everything else.
and this is, would be in,
An interim,
Well, we don't have an interim agreement yet.
I'm saying interim of getting the interim agreement. I don't want to see that box taken down. is the big thing.
I think that could get into some legality problems there.
I'm not sure we can, we can't do that.
Leave the box there but without the sign.
We can't take a donation as a township.
Yeah,
So, right now, we can't do that.
I think the feeling that, at
We're
least I'm
try-
getting, is that when we get the interim agreement or whatever it's gonna take, we don't know how long the DNR is gonna take to,
Mhm.
to move. So we need to get an interim agreement. That's the one thing. I don't think that we can say that the box and everything should stay there until we get an interim agreement, because we don't know when that's gonna be. And that is definitely against the law.
We're hoping very
That we
quickly.
think.
We're really hoping very quickly, so
Yes.
hopefully something they can take to their April 20th meeting. That's what we're hoping. You know how agreements go, though. We write it, the lawyer writes it, we revise it, we give it to them, they look at it, we revise it, we do it again. We know that is also not a fast process. Okay, but we're gonna try to expedite it fairly quickly.
And Dalton, I totally agree with you. That was my purpose of mentioning it right now, was we want them to have the money, that money, if at all possible.
But we can-
right now, we're taking, because there's no agreement, we have all the expenses of maintaining that.
Well, and we can't, again, take donations
Yeah.
as a township. And so we don't wanna have something that says, Greg,
Trying to shut it
I don't wanna put us in a tight spot with that.
Okay.
So that's part of it. The DNR is gonna have whatever rules they have if in fact they end up with that property. Their rules are their rules and they will deal with that. These are what we have to deal with. And again, we're talking some minute time here. And Paul and I did talk with them. We're gonna meet with them again hopefully before their April 20th meeting, after this meeting, to have some further discussions on the nuances. So that we can bring something back again that's almost finalized.
Okay, that's fair.
And other topics are that we will be taking over all electrical costs, all the garbage pickups. Until we get an interim, we don't have a choice.
We're gonna wait and discuss, well, yeah, we don't have any garbage there right now.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, we had no agreement, it is our property.
Well, absolutely, that is absolutely true. If somebody dumps a mattress, we're responsible to go get it at this point. That's what he means by
Or
garbage.
anything else.
Or
that's-
anything else.
We have the expenses for the next, until an agreement
Now,
is a.
until we have an interim agreement.
And
So
it's-
we're trying
It's
to,
imperative that they move quickly, because also, the question is about the building, and them storing their equipment in the building. So I mean, it's a give and take, and we're working on it.
That's a fair answer. I'm worried open season water's fast approaching, fishing opener's fast approaching.
And so are they, and so are.
I know, that's fair. If we can't have it, we can't have it. If it's a legality reason, we can't have it. But I just want to point out that that's probably our biggest donation time is right around the fishing opener.
And I think that's what they're saying also.
Mhm.
So,
we're well aware.
good.
And it's gonna, well, I think we need to go over some of these issues. So the board's not gonna get shocked, but we've got.
We discussed that we were gonna hold on some of this.
I didn't say who was gonna pay for it, but things that need to be done.
Okay. I mean, you're a member of the board as much as I, so you can say what you.
We're not talking about who's paying or whatever, these are issues. Is the outhouse, we know, we talked about it last month. That's gonna have to be taken care of. We're checking into some of those things on it. The parking lot, light, and the outhouse, if I've got this correct, is right, the light that's there, and the electricity for the garage. It's not a lot, but it's still an item. The maintaining of the grounds, besides the ramp itself. Which I'm sure it's gonna need, well, yes, I think we said it, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. There needs to be work done, grading in that right now, in the parking lot of the launch.
Yes, yes.
And to get ready for spring.
Well, that will come up when we do the road tour. That'll be something that's on the road tour.
But we need to get that done fairly soon, so Daryl can plan his work.
When we're planning.
Well, the road tour is on here, so we're getting there. The road tour discussion is on our agenda tonight. So we're getting to that. So, we're getting there on our agenda tonight. Which I just lost, there it is.
I thought you just wanted to hear from what the other people had to say about those things.
That we need,
I mean, that's what you,
we had just had my understanding was the discussion was the things that we wanted to get done tonight is to get a vote to make sure that they want us to continue with the interim agreement. And
there's no continue on the interim. There is no agreement.
I
It was
said
terminated.
continuing
Continue
of
to get one.
attempting to get one agreement. The discussion was, does the board want you and I to continue to work on getting an interim agreement between now and the time that whenever the DNR may or may not take that property? And we don't know what the end date of that interim agreement will be because we don't know the outcome of the DNR's decision.
Or our vote on it.
Or our vote on it. So, until that happens, this interim agreement would go from whenever we get it done to
Whenever we terminate it.
whenever we terminate it based on those things. That was what we were here to find out from our board. Should we keep working? Or do we just want to trash it? I knew what the vote would be. It would be keep working.
I'll make the motion to continue to work and push towards an interim agreement.
Okay. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Second on that. Fantastic. It'll include everything he just talked about here. Our discussions will include all of those things, and then probably other things that pop up along the way. But all of those things that he just read off.
Sounds good.
And until we come to some negotiations, those are all flexible. I'm hearing from this board.
Yep.
Fine. I just wanted to hear that from the board, that it was all flexible.
Any further discussion on just that one motion? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Still with the Ann Lake site. This one, Shelley?
You want to go to that one?
Is
Or
it,
next?
okay, we'll wait then. I just thought since we were on Ann
We
Lake.
can.
Since we're here,
Get to that. Fine.
we're gonna jump a little because I have a very, very flexible clerk. Since we're here, we're gonna jump to G. There was a formal complaint filed with Sherburne County on the outhouse. Required us to have contact with Sherburne County within 7 days of the letter. Shelley has done that. She has us in compliance with the county. They know we're working on it. Shelley, you wanna take it from there?
I spoke to the senior environmental specialist at County Planning and Zoning. He was happy to hear that we had already begun pursuing the removal of the outhouse. He said that we do not need a bunch of permits like we had originally thought. All we have to do is find a maintainer, which is a septic guy with a license, to pump out the septic and to fill it in with clean soil. And that's the most important part of that letter. And I told him that we had already begun working on that. He wanted to know about the Ann Lake people, the club. I said that they totally understood, they supported it, they wanted to get rid of that house also. And so he was happy to hear that, and he said, just do it as soon as possible. So I contacted Daryl, and I contacted a second septic person, ND Septic Service LLC. They'll do the work, and they will fill out the 4-page report that's necessary to give to the county. So both Daryl and Andy gave us quotes on tearing the building down, filling in, pumping the septic, everything that needs to be done. The only thing I don't see on the Andy one is reseeding it, which Daryl said he was gonna put in black dirt and reseed it. So that's the only difference I can see on the two.
It says not included at the bottom.
Oh, it does say not?
Not included, power, gas, phone line removal, landscaping, grass seeding.
Okay, so that's the two difference from those. I also called Connexus about the meter, and they will come out and disconnect the meter and take down the electricity. However, since the electricity is in Lake Club's name, they would have to request that. Can't come from us. But I went out there and I was looking at it because I didn't realize that everything was kind of all connected. And so we will have to consider how we're going to deal with the light that's there. Because that light is the only light that lights up the land. So we will probably still need that electric light. And right now, Lake Club is paying that bill.
My understanding from talking with them, there's actually 2 meters out there. 1 meter, but 2 boxes.
There's 1 meter for the building. The power comes from Connexus to the main pole with the light, feeds the light. From there, there's a flat fee for that, no meter. From there, it goes to the outhouse on a 4-inch by 4-inch pole that then feeds the building. So, I'm not an electrician, but they could terminate it right at the light,
Yep,
kill the building, kill the outhouse, and it would still be a light,
there you go.
if that's what you chose.
That's what I was getting to, because you described that map to us the
Yeah.
other night. You have 2, not 2 bills, but 2 charges, one for the
Yes.
shed, one for the light, because there's a flat fee, and then the meter is the one for the shed, which is minuscule dollars this time of year. So, we could probably cut it from the pole on. And
Because,
then,
I mean.
but that does, you're right,
We
has-
do want some light down
but that is theirs, but they would have to make that request, you are right. The other thing I will say is that I did investigate again, using park funds for this. Their application has a section you can check for things that need to be remediated or fixed on parkland. So, I say it's worth submitting a request to the park fund to get reimbursement for this. We may or may not get it, so when we're discussing paying for it, understand we might not get reimbursed, but I think we should try.
Also explore it for the landing.
Hmm?
Can we also explore it for the landing?
We'd have to get, you have to have bids, but if we got bids for it, we could explore it for the landing.
Okay.
But I think that for sure, this one, because we're under somewhat of a constraint, not pressing, but we are under a constraint with the county, we do need to move forward with this one fairly quickly.
I think we're under more of a constraint to deal with the landing than we are that. That's blocked, that's locked up, they don't use it, the outhouse.
Problem is that because we got the complaint from the planning and zoning guy, he wants to know what we're gonna do and he wants us to do it as soon as possible. He's worried that it's contaminated.
And that's why I'm saying throw them together. And see if we can, and that's what we're doing, we're applying for the grant.
I would want to make 2 separate. Commissioner, do you know something
It's
about
two
this?
different issues when it comes to using the park funds, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, generally, you don't get, they don't, the way the ordinance was written, you don't get to use that for the ordinary upkeep of any park property. And now whether or not you could consider the boat landing to be a park property might be debatable, but that would be frost heave on your boat ramp is ordinary maintenance of the park. Now, like Palmer wanted some to do a few little upgrades to their park, they couldn't get it. Places that have been able to use it as remediation is where there has been some sort of damage, or in this case, you need to remediate in a very immediate and legal fashion a environmental hazard. This is, it's a big deal.
Thank you for reiterating in maybe more favorable words what I had found out, is that the remediation takes precedent over anything else, that we would have a use for the money. I would love to do other things with it, but we don't meet any of their other criteria. The only one we meet is the remediation.
So we can't apply for both of them, but have two separate things, but send them out at the same time. And if they reject the landing, which to me, that's remediation, because that's,
General maintenance.
but we're the only, as you said, we're the only township in the state of Minnesota that owns the landing. So how is that remediation?
Remediation is when something's gone wrong and you have to fix it entirely, not maintenance. Like if a tree falls down, you gotta take it out, but that's ordinary maintenance. If you have to replace posts, that's ordinary maintenance. And these types, something like that, and this is me guessing, I'm not saying what the board's gonna say. Those planks move on these boat landings every single year. They move up and down all over the place. And that's exactly what those guys do. That crew that works for the DNRs, they run around with their equipment and they pick them all up, they clean it up, and they set them down as soon as they get ready to open up the boat landings. And so I think that would be under an ordinary maintenance. Could you put in something for it? Yeah, but I wouldn't put them in together because you have an immediate legal issue with the septic.
Or not a septic, we don't have a septic, we actually just have the.
Yeah, it's a septic issue. It comes under septic. It's an outhouse, but it's a septic issue. Whenever you have a defective septic, that is an immediate legal,
And I also think just,
finable issue.
I think also just from the discussions that we've had with Ann Lake, they've also realized that that is a maintenance issue. They've replaced them before, it has been because of wear and tear and heave and not heave and all kinds of stuff. They've done that work before.
I would be in favor of having the townships use their park money more effectively for themselves. As far as I'm concerned, personally, we should stop taking the money unless we're letting townships use it, but that's it. I'm like the only one, so.
All right, thank you. So, we've got a lot on the discussion here. Where do we want to go?
Okay, let's separate them, but apply for both of them.
Yeah. I think
I'll
that's
make that
fair.
motion.
Well, let's back
Before we
up.
have that, should we figure out what
Hold
we're
on,
going
let's
with?
back up, because we don't, which estimate we got?
Well, if this electrician
Yeah,
and
and seating and all that
Seating.
stuff, I'd go with Daryl's because he's gonna do most of that work.
that's my feeling too.
So why don't we start there, let's clean this up from A to Z. Do I have a motion on which bid to accept for the remediation of the outhouse?
I'll make the motion
Two.
for Daryl.
Okay, Paul makes a motion that we accept the bid from Daryl. Do I get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Dalton.
And with discussion, do we have to provide, I remember from last year from the MAT training, if you have an offer that's less, you have to explain why you're not accepting it, correct?
Only if that's over, if we're required to take bids.
It's over, yes.
So this is not considered a bid? Okay.
It's estimates.
Okay, I was gonna say, we have a very good reason, I just didn't know the documentation.
We did not put this up for bids, we did
Okay,
not.
that's fair.
And quite honestly, if we need to put it on the record, we would not be accepting this one due to it not including landscaping, grass seeding, yard or driveway fixing, job pad rental, sprinkler systems, blah, 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 all mentioned at the bottom of their
Yep,
agreement, for the record.
sounds good to me.
That cover you?
Yeah, no.
All right. I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Daryl will be doing the work. Okay, moving on to, you had another motion you wanted to make.
Yes, I think we should apply for it.
Can you make that in a motion form?
I-
Before you make that motion,
Okay?
are we now saying that we're paying for the landing for sure?
No,
I know what your motion's gonna be.
and that's the thing. I'm not there to agree to pay for that landing right quite yet.
If you want to get it done to get the boats in the spring,
Mhm.
we're paying for it.
Do we have any estimate on what it's gonna cost?
Absolutely none.
Do you mind if I ask them what it cost last time?
They did it themselves. That's what
We
they told
can't.
us.
And we can't accept that fee as do it yourself.
Well, that's my question. I was gonna wonder if what they paid if they did it themselves.
They didn't have it professionally done.
Okay. So,
So how about we make a motion that we get an estimate?
my fear with that is timing.
That's my.
So if we're gonna make a motion, Paul, can we have a cap on it?
I understand and I agree with you, I'm concerned.
I don't want this to come back and all of a sudden it's 20 grand. That's,
Well, we can.
I'm not sure it wants to come back at $6,000.
We
that's
can,
what I'm thinking. like,
we can
under
make a
five.
motion to, seek, to ask Daryl what it would cost.
I would take a step further, ask Daryl what it costs, and have him do it if it's under X dollars. Because again, in 2 weeks, those lakes are gonna be open. People are gonna be looking to launch them sooner.
I know, but we're under
I
the
don't,
gun.
I know, but I'm saying, I don't
You
wanna
can't
wait,
use the boat ramp.
but I don't wanna
We're
wait all the
liable.
way till, if we just get a bid, then we have to wait all the way till the April meeting.
No, we can have a special meeting.
We're gonna come in all the way for that, or can we just make a motion that
Everybody's
if
on
it's
vacation.
under?
Pardon?
What I'd rather do is have a bid, and if it's under X dollars, then
I am
Daryl
not
does it.
comfortable
But we
with any
have
of
no
this.
idea what it's gonna cost.
We don't.
If you want it open to launch your boats, do we have a
But are
choice?
you writing a blank check? If it comes back at 20
I
grand?
will tell you right now, I am not comfortable writing a blank check. I am not comfortable making any motion on any of this until we have some numbers in front of us. I am not gonna go and make these, and then all of a sudden we're having a special meeting anyway because we said 2,000 and now it's 7. What's the number we won't accept? I mean, we don't even know. And I am not comfortable with that.
So we ask for the prices, have a special meeting to get it approved, go on. If it's too high, we say it's too high, but at least we tried.
I am not comfortable with that. We're spending a lot of money on the what if.
No, we're not spending any
What
money.
Paul's saying is there is no what if we just get the bid and then we have to come back for a special meeting. So, if that's what we think, we're worried about the money, that's the route we have to go. But I don't think we can wait till end of April to get this
agree.
fixed.
I disagree.
I make the motion.
From the township's perspective, and again, I want to get on the lake as fast as everybody, but I need to take into consideration everybody in this township, not just Ann Lake. And we're doing a lot of jumping around, and we're gonna end up calling lawyers, and we're gonna end up having special meetings, which cost us money for this, it costs money for all of that to happen. And I'm not comfortable with that. And I said this at the meeting with Ann Lake, I had a lot of phone calls and some face-to-face discussions with people after that annual meeting who are not happy that we are spending any money on this. I got a lot of pushback, and I shared that with them at the meeting. This is not news to them. And I am not comfortable just doling out dollars to get a boat ramp open. If they want to go fishing, go over to the other lake for now until we get this figured
Or
out.
they're gonna go in there, and if, I hope not, they damage their boat,
We
we're
have-
gonna get in a lawsuit.
We're not responsible for
We're not
that.
gonna get a lawsuit.
We're not
and
gonna get a
people are
lawsuit
gonna
over
push
that.
for not maintaining it,
No,
then we better post,
because
we better post something up there that says, at your risk.
at your own risk.
Sure.
Then that's,
People are gonna
that's
use it
fine.
regardless. It's the same as Birch Lake right now has a crappy landing because of Knives Eve. And people are taking their ice houses over. that
Eagle
right
Lake
now.
had a crappy landing for an entire year. People used it anyway.
It's gonna get used.
It's gonna get used. That's not my concern. My concern is that we can't just make quick decisions because we need to get it open. We have multiple other lakes in this township. And if people really want to get their boat in, there's another landing that they can go to in the interim until we take a slow and methodical approach to making sure we get it done right, not just the cheapest bit, again. We didn't go cheapest here, we went with what was right. And I want to do that again. If we are going to pay for this landing, I want to do it right. I don't even know what goes into it. I know what they've told me goes into it. I've not done my own research on it to know what goes into it. And does it matter what contractor we get and how they do it? Does it last longer if we do certain things? Does it last less if we do other things? I don't know. And I don't want to make that decision on a snap in a special meeting because we want to get a landing open by May 1st. I'm sorry, that's my piece. If you guys vote the other way, I am fine with that, but I need to put my piece out there. This is something that is for, yes, do people use it, but we don't even know if it's people from Orrock that are using it. We can't document that. We don't know. And so, there's just a lot of unknowns for me.
That's fair, but we at least need a bid.
Absolutely, we need a bid. I totally agree.
And why then can't we have a special meeting? It doesn't, other than the 2 hourly people, it doesn't cost us any.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should.
We can figure that out at a later time, though. A special meeting.
So I'm going to call the question.
I don't know that I got a second.
Do we have a second to get a bid?
Second.
Are you calling it a bid or a price?
Bid.
I'll second.
I mean, are you just asking for Daryl?
No, I'm asking for Shelley to get bids.
So who's gonna write the specs up?
Go look at the landing. Bring it to,
And so what are we getting? We don't know anything about it, you said that. And so now we're gonna ask people to submit something we don't know anything about, but we're gonna delay it.
what's the difference between that and asking Daryl to go fix it?
I didn't ask, I didn't say that we'd go with Daryl to fix it. I said that we'd ask Daryl to give us a price, not a bid, a price. Just
Okay,
like
then
we've
let's
done
get a
with-
price from
With
another,
potholes and everything else.
and then we can get a price from another person who does landing work. I'll change the word from bid to price. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
We can get prices from various people.
I mean, that's what was done with the outhouse, correct? With prices, not bids.
Yes. Quotes.
Quotes.
All right, quotes.
Second that. The quote part.
Quotes. Okay,
Me first.
And it,
I've made the motion. That we get quotes for fixing the landing. Okay. Now, there is to your point, Paul, there is a thing on the form that, for the park, we can submit with pricing to be determined to see if they would even look at that as a project.
I think we should at least try. I
I
mean,
can-
that money, I've been on the
But
board, I think, for
let's just
years.
finish this, but just FYI, there is that form. So,
a second.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. For the park forms now. Definitely, I would like to make a motion that we submit a request for funds to pay for the outhouse repairs for the park fund, but with the understanding that if it is not approved, we will still be paying for remediation of the outhouse.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I will also make the motion, or no, Paul, sure, you can do it.
That's mine.
You wanted a
With the landing to the
Park
park board.
board submit a request for funds to fix the landing. Fix the.
I want, and I'm just picking out the figure. I'm not sure that it's accurate. But I want to say, I've been on the board for 8 years, or almost a total of 8 years. And this money keeps building. Like the county collects and holds ours. And I want to say it's over $60,000.
I think it's 42, but yeah.
Okay, so you're more current. 42,000.
Yeah, I know it's
And
not.
so I
fixed,
think
but
we should
whatever.
try to use that to our advantage to help in this situation.
I agree. I just think we should take Commissioner Felber's advice and split them up, which I think is what we're planning to do here. They're two different claims. One's much more
But
likely to
she's
be approved.
asking for a motion to actually apply for the,
Yeah,
that's what you're asking for, right?
yeah, she was gonna make it, and she was giving you the courtesy of making it.
I'm
This
giving
was
you
your
the
idea.
courtesy of making it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought, I'm not
Did everybody else
following.
get that? Okay.
Are you
So
making
I'm
the
making
motion?
the motion for Paul that we,
Oh, I'm sorry,
that
thought
we
you were-
apply for park money to pay for the potential cost of fixing the planks at the Ann Lake Beach landing.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Supervisor compensation. So, unfortunately, this is coming back. Last month, after previous issues with this, Supervisor Owen came to me and said, I've documented every single thing I did. I went through it, actually told him he couldn't count some things because they weren't appropriate, and made sure that what he had there, also, there was the, taking into consideration he gets paid $25 more. Told him to submit. I explained that to our treasurer, who I said, hey, I've gone over it, had a long discussion, all of this is real valid. Still needs to come to the board and be called out to the board. And I understand why she said that, because this is what the board talked about. However, 2 weeks earlier than that, another member of this township had come to me and said, hey, can I get paid for this? And I looked, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, submit for that. According to our rules, it should have been called out, and it was not. So I understand where some things are getting called out, some things, for some reason, are not. If there needs to be consistency, it has to be equally done. Either we're calling them all out or we're calling nothing out. And in discussion about, well, some very valid points were brought up by her, like I need to know, I have to go, have in order for, for the audit, I have to know exactly what it's for, except that if you looked at the timesheet for the other person that asked for that, it said work performed. Or something to that nature. No description, no
So you're saying
nothing.
another board member?
Another member of this township. So, either we are going to, so then, Shelley made a call to our attorney. Would you like to,
I took the liberty of calling the
Which-
lawyer
again.
so that we can get the stuff
which
under control.
I did not ask Shelley to do.
No, I did it
She did it
on
on
my
her own.
And this is what he told me. As far as the treasurer is concerned, she's not under any obligation to flag a claim unless she believes there's a criminal activity. It is the board's duty to pull a claim that they have questions about. That's first. However, he said, it should be clarified exactly what township work entails, especially for the road authority, since that job takes a lot of time. And the clerk and the treasurer needs to know this for their books so that there is a clear understanding of what is expected. The board should have decided this at the reorg meeting, but it can be discussed at any time. So I added it to the agenda so that we can create a policy, which is what the lawyer says that we need to do, so that in the future, if and when these questions come up, there is a document that says this is exactly what we're talking about.
So, Shelley provided me with that information from our lawyer a couple days after our last meeting, when I called it out that, like, it's happening here and not happening there. I think 2 days later, we had a call, or that a scam email / phone call / something, that somebody had hit a pole in the township, and it was, the insurance adjuster was calling, and they needed to go out and inspect it, and we're like, what the hell, what the heck, we don't know anything about this. Called up him, he went out, there's not a dent on any pole, we're fine. Would never have been on our bingo list of, wow, we should write down scam phone calls for checking them out on the road authority's stuff. So I said, Shelley, I'm a little concerned about detailing because we will for sure miss something. But I agree that there needs to be some further discussion. And I think that goes not only for the road authority, but I think it goes for everybody else. Now, the sheet that she had up there just a moment ago is an annual thing that we get every year. It should be in our packet, so you can read it a little better. From all the other townships, what they pay, how they pay per meeting, they pay per, township work done, who does what, the hourly rate they're paid. This is put together by Brenda, correct?
I don't know, I got it from her.
Yeah. I called Becker Township to get it. Becker Township told me Brenda was doing it this year. So I think it's a collaboration between Lucinda and Brenda who do this. And they do it every year. And we've been getting them every year. Ours just came later than our annual meeting. So in looking at that, that gives you a much better idea of who gets paid what around, if you're looking for references in terms of how do we compare to the other townships. I can tell you, at first glance, and again, I'm a data person, so, I deep dive on data, we're woefully underpaid compared to the other townships. In fact, I looked at Becker Township's financials are all on their meeting agendas. You can pull it up right on their website. What every warrant, what everybody gets paid, every single thing. And we are woefully underpaid. That being said, I am sick and tired of people being questioned whether they're doing township work. We're elected, the people trusted us to get elected. They trusted us for our decisions. We have a right, according to our lawyer, to pull it out if we question it. But I think as supervisors and as road authority, we have a right to ask for it. But I don't want to have this discussion again. I don't want there to be two sets of rules. These people don't ever get called out, but these people do. For everything they put on there. So, I'm open for discussion.
Well, I'll start. We've changed his pay scale at least three times, if not four, in the last 4 years.
No, the last 2 years, it's been the same.
We set it up and we changed it in May again.
We changed it, so
The
road
25
authority or
Yes.
road authority
Yes,
is,
the $25.
yeah.
I'm saying prior to 4 years ago, the first time I was on, it was not an issue, but okay.
That's when they
The
paid
last
for
one.
meetings, they paid for going to meetings, they paid for township work at $20 an hour, they paid for a flat fee
Way
for a
back.
meeting. But when I got on the board, it was like that, 4 years ago.
Yes,
They let us pick and choose what we went to.
but we also, everybody saw those.
We still see them.
We don't see the individual.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. They're in every place, they're on the payroll. It comes into every
Kelly sends
month.
it out, yeah.
Kelly sends it out every month.
There's scans of the sheet that have whatever
Every
sheet we
sheet that we
give
fill out is in
Kelly.
there.
I'm sorry, it's electronically,
Yeah,
It's under the email that Kelly sends out every month. We're not in our packet, it's in the one that treasurer sends out. There's the payroll
right, I
claims,
understand that.
there's the payroll
I
claims, and
understand,
then
because I
there's,
look at it a lot.
but they're all there. They've been there every month.
I'm still saying it has been changed in that. And that,
As it needs to be, as things evolve. We are much busier this year than we've ever been in all my years on this board.
but that's because you are the chairperson.
Because I want the
Chairperson
people
has
to
been
be
busy.
involved, no, not just
The
me.
chair and the road authority person have been busy. I can tell you.
You guys have
I've
been,
gotten plenty of county
Well,
zoning stuff.
Pardon?
I've got plenty of zoning
he's
stuff.
got been.
Well, zoning, but that, we're talking about
Yeah, yeah.
here.
But I mean, it's people calling from township, asking zoning questions, like, can I have this many chickens on my property?
But if you
And
were
yes,
on
I
the
get those
zoning
calls.
board, you would not
Correct,
be getting the
correct.
calls.
You are correct.
It's one of us
And
would
you
be,
are reimbursed
But
for
some-
the zoning boards.
but
but
not
that's-
for those calls.
Not for those calls. I'm reimbursed for the zoning meeting every month.
$50 or something.
Yeah, somewhere along that. I'm not reimbursed for how many chickens can I have on my property, and yes, I get those calls.
And if he wasn't getting.
All
them,
I
we
see
would
is
be getting them.
happening is this board's cost, and I'm not pleased that Pete's name was mentioned and not the other person. that's
Shelley.
called out.
Shelley.
Okay, that's for what reason? I just have real concerns that people ran to cut costs in the township, but yet, when it comes to their own particular salaries and that, no, we keep raising them. And I'm not patting myself on the back, please don't take it that way. You've done a lot of things,
I've got 60
With no
hours
charge.
in on Ann Lake.
okay? I mowed the lawn here for years, 4 years. I even bought the gas for it.
And I know that Supervisor Felber also told you, don't do that because we have liability issues and you need to charge us for that, but you refused.
I just think that that is part of helping this township. That's why I ran.
And you have.
And I
every-
don't expect to go to every meeting and get paid for or
I don't
whatever.
think that's necessarily the issue, Paul, because I'm fielding those chicken calls for free too. I think the bigger issue is when Peter, and I'm gonna call Peter out specifically, when he's going out and spending an hour going and looking at something, he should be able to charge that. And I think the problem is if he's getting called out for putting work performed, he's getting called out for that. Now, do I think maybe we put a little bit more description of checked ditch, checked sign, whatever the case is? I think that is fair, and I think that's a fair request, so when Shelley and Kelly get these, they can document them and categorize them if needed. I
So-
will say that we should not be calling out anybody if they went out and checked a ditch, we should trust that that ditch needed to be looked
There's
at.
February and there's March.
So, because this has been an ongoing issue, I met with Peter and we had a discussion to do exactly that.
Mhm.
So he has been putting this is what started it, because I asked him to do this. And he even sent me a message before our last one, do I need to bring my log for you to check, Ann? Yes, you do. Not just as the chair, but just as to say, okay, I don't want you to submit this, which I think might cause us a problem getting called out again for it. And I told, the last time, I made him take stuff off. And I make sure that that it is not, there's more than $25 worth of work here. So, again, he did it here. We started that, Dalton, before you knew we started it. So
Okay.
that is something that we are doing and calling it out piece by piece. Again, insurance company about power pole. We spent, I don't know how many phone calls on Saturday, back and forth, between what was going on this
The
whole
logging
logging thing, you know.
And I even drove back in there and took.
I told him, go back and take pictures. I said to him, get pictures today, because in a week, if it looks different, we're gonna need those
And I'm
pictures.
not stepping on toes here. Pete,
I don't know,
why aren't you calling Brian? Brian was the former road authority, and he's on the road committee, versus calling the chair.
Because I know.
Brian knows a lot about what's going on, what went on in that.
I was, quite honestly, the one who directed him to the sheriff's office and said, hey, and Cole, you know, and the scales guy and the state patrol, and every single thing
I'm not questioning what you did.
everything I told him was absolutely correct.
I'm not saying it was wrong.
So who does it matter who he calls?
Well,
I
then
think we're getting off
If it
topic
doesn't make
here.
any difference, then why are you worried about it then? I mean, isn't there
I didn't
reason,
put in
isn't
any
there a
hours for
reason
it.
why there's a committee?
I didn't put in any hours on it.
What's the reason for a road committee? No
I can't
different than the fire board contracts. There's a group,
I don't think we have a
Dog.
policy that says you can only talk to that person, but he knows
you
once he.
can't talk to three.
I understand that, Paul, but I also understand if he chose to call me because I know a lot of stuff about the sheriff's office and roads, being that I have married to that one over there, that maybe he just felt comfortable calling me. And if I'm his comfort call, then I'm his comfort call, and I don't think you should
You should have
dictate
been
that.
put on the road committee and not Brian.
Well, you can fix that now if you'd like to. But,
We're getting way off.
I know we
with
are.
Compensation.
because Paul has something else going on. But, at the end of the day here,
That's a cheap shot that is not true at all.
well, you seem to have a problem with him making a choice who he'd like to talk to about his problems.
No, you're the one that's bringing up that he called you and he's spending these hours and saying you can't do this, you can't charge this. I'm saying is, there's a reason for a road committee.
Well, that had nothing to do with the road committee, what he should or should not submit to the treasurer. That had nothing to do with the road
It's
committee.
all dealing with roads.
It's dealing with finance, but, okay. But you're right, we're getting off topic, because at the end of the day, we should be able to be trusted. People submit what they want to submit. If you want to call it out, pull it up.
And to be fair, I'm looking at Peter's right now, and he did not submit any of it.
Pardon?
He didn't submit any of it, so I know there's a lot in that log.
That's what,
I know you submitted for the sign, counting signs the one time.
Because this has been ongoing. Because there's been these discrepancies or these issues getting called out for whether his work is worth being paid for. That takes a toll on you as a person.
I agree.
I've been there, done that, and I'm not gonna have it. So,
At the budget meeting, we should have had that increase, if that was the case for an hourly pay and stuff that way comparing to our monthly fee. That should have been something that should have been budgeted ahead of time if that was the case too. That's what I'm just trying to figure out, what is the road authority's
well, and that's
You know,
the same discussion that.
job description thing to be able to know what that extra 25 included. I don't know what that is. That's just the reason why I am asking.
Well,
Is this something that is included or is this not? And
she's doing her job.
that's what I'm asking.
I
Because I'm
understand,
also thinking of the county and, or the township in there.
I understand that,
Fairfax.
and we had this discussion at another meeting where Brian said the exact same thing, and I said to him, then you should have changed it when you had the chance. to not have $20 as work performed by township supervisor on there, but it is.
The way I look at it is you even called out underpaid in the sense that the $20 is way less than everybody's.
Mhm.
So Peter's getting an extra $25, which the other townships are not, but our hourly rate is also lower.
And I'm
So-
taking $25 worth of work off his list every time he shows it to me, before I'll say, this is what you should submit.
And that's fair too, and in all reality, even if you didn't take it off, I'd be okay with it, because it's a low.
I'm just trying to follow our
and I-
rules.
And I appreciate that.
I'm trying to follow our rules, that's all.
The way I look at it is if we're getting small calls, like the chicken call that I keep referencing back to, it takes 5 minutes. I'm not gonna expense for that. I know Peter gets a lot more of those types of quick calls, and that's why he's getting the $25 in my opinion. Because he's not gonna expense a 5 or 10 minute call. He's expensing when he's going out there for an hour or something like that. When he has to go out and take pictures and stuff like that, that I do think is work for the township.
I'm not questioning that you put in the time. Please don't take that personal against you. I just think that, like I said, for 4 years now, this is, I think the question was, when this was approved, it was, and if a supervisor has a question about it, they should, or the treasurer points it out, or the supervisor can pull it out.
But now
And
we
it should
find
be
out
taught.
that the treasurer should only pull it out if she believes it's a criminal activity. Otherwise, the supervisors are responsible for pulling it out. Shelley's nodding her head, that was our lawyer's opinion.
That's fair, I will add on to that, that if we are going to add work performed, we should have some kind of description attached to it. Even if it's as
Well,
even it's as simple as
Yep.
taking pictures.
Because we also have to know what categories, what funds, where to place it.
Yep.
And also you have to bear in mind, do you have the budget for that?
And that's why 2 years ago, or when she first started, that I wanted that running balance to always show on the sheets.
Mhm.
So we would always know what our running availability of money was. And that was, she was very gracious to add that column. So we have that running thing that we can see on our treasurer sheets. This was our budget, this is what we spent, this is what we still have left. And so we have that. And so we do have the ability to see that.
Okay. In my opinion though, Kelly's calling it out because she needs to know what category and stuff like that. In order to make it so Kelly doesn't have to call these things out going forward, if people are going to expense, I would recommend, and I don't know if I need a motion for this, but we put more than just work performed. Some kind of short description.
Yes, clarification, all of Peter's were, Yeah.
I'm not calling out whether his were or weren't.
but I agree,
Just in
it
general.
needs to be across the board exactly what it was.
And we're not asking for a paragraph, we're asking for 5 words or something.
Correct.
Does that help you,
Examine the
Kelly, where-
pole, check the ditch, driveway easement, whatever is going on.
Kelly, for finances, does that help you if you add those quick descriptions? Does that allow you to do what you need to do, not have to call anything out?
And
Okay.
one of the supervisors, we call it up.
Yep. And then everybody put a description on there, if they wanna put something on there. The bigger discussion about whether or not we change and modify to come closer to that can come at a different time, but I do think that have spent some more time looking at that, we'll throw it back on an agenda sometime, to look at that. But for right now, I think we're at a good place. I don't know if we need a motion. I think those are some clarifying words. Shelley says we need a policy. I think we need.
Well, the lawyer suggested that.
Okay. Okay, so that would be something that we do have a policy, a defunct policy committee somewhere. Or we said we would create one if we needed it, I believe is what we said.
I believe in the policy committee.
I actually think
There's,
I think I'm on it.
yeah, we have a policy.
So we can start gathering acceptable work things for all of us, what's acceptable? Is it acceptable in an emergency situation for us to go out and do something ourselves and call for it, like when the tornado hit Ann Lake? Is that work performed that's over and above? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, some of these projects do take a lot more time than we think they do, more than a regular committee thing does. I will tell you this Ann Lake thing. If I could have, I'd be putting in for it at this point. I've lost days of work, I've lost evenings, I have lost hours on the phone. It's more than $25 worth of work, I will tell you that. Right now. I've counted it up, it's been about 62 hours of work on this. So, not one dime has been submitted. And I'm not going to, but I'm just saying, we need to look at those things because we are a much more responsive board now. The public comes to us, and I think that's a tribute to ongoing efforts of community outreach and ongoing efforts of actually resolution of people's problems. And Madam Clerk, I would say that you have really been a lot at the forefront of getting that communication going, and your Facebook posts and your stuff that you put out there and letting your questions reach out to us, getting us out there publicly and socially, as well as our two newest members of definitely starting being very responsive. So, moving on.
Thank you for the compliment.
Moving on. So, historic flag request. Madam Clerk, I know nothing about.
I make the motion that we display the United States of America flag only.
How hard is it to get something on the ballot for a township? Just hold on a second, Paul, I'm asking. That's what I figured. Because I'm trying to figure out any other way we can get public opinion, because to me this is a social issue.
Then we need a new flagpole outside.
No. No. Our flagpole can definitely handle it.
Handle too.
Make sure of that.
My flagpole half that size handled it. We don't necessarily have to fly it. What we can do is make a decision about if we ever chose to fly it, which one would we fly?
And that's what I don't want to do as a board of 4 or 5, is doing a social issue like that. If we were ever going to do that, that is where I would want public opinion on it. So I see what Paul is saying is just keep the course, because we avoid the social issue altogether. If we're going to get into which one we fly, I'm not comfortable with 5 people making that decision. It's a social issue, and we're not here for social issues. We are here,
Oh, yeah. we
Paul,
are.
as you've mentioned before, roads, fire, medical, and then anything else that pops up, and unfortunately this has popped up, but do we necessarily need to address it?
So are you seconding it?
I will second your motion, just the American flag.
I can't agree with that.
Well, it's open discussion now, so
Yeah.
what's your reasoning?
My reasoning is that, that we only fly the American flag? Is that what that's the motion,
That's the
correct?
motion.
I am not comfortable saying the absolute of only that. What if we wanted to fly a MIA flag? What if we wanted to fly a Minnesota flag? What if we wanted to, something else comes up where we want to fly something else? Then we have to come back, and then we have to do it again, and then we have to have another vote, and then we have to do this. What I'm saying is that what we should do is, I can agree with you that maybe that we want to have maybe the 5th person here to make a decision on the flag. However, I don't think we should limit it to only the American flag. It limits our opportunities to fly anything ever.
That's fair.
and I don't wanna do that.
It isn't forever. All it means is someone then has to bring it back up to the board. As if that board at that time wants to change.
If we make no motion, do we even have to do anything here?
Well, you had a request.
She really just wanted to bring this to the board's attention. And
I
she couldn't
do,
be here for.
We're not disrespecting any other.
I do know that there is a large push, many townships, many cities are making these changes or are voting on these changes, and I know it will be shortly on the county's radar as well.
And that's fair, and I have a
So,
very strong opinion.
I
on which
want
one we
the
should
old
fly.
flag to fly.
Sure.
That's
You
what I want.
You want my opinion? I'll say the same thing.
I want the
I
old
want the
flag
old
to
one
fly. But
But we are a group of 5 and it's a social issue. And I don't want it to be just us.
you know what? Social issues, we still have to make that decision. Now, if you want to get out there and post on Facebook and say, hey, you know, I'm not having a public meeting over it.
No.
So get out there and put it out
And-
there and say, hey, what does people want? You know?
And if
You should do that.
if that happens, for whatever reasons, if the state flag is changed, it can go back to us.
Oh, no, we don't, the point is we don't have to have the state flag changed to put the old one up. State law doesn't require us to fly the new one. It only, there's no requirement to fly we can fly one of 2 versions or 3 versions of the Minnesota flag.
If I were to go on
Please
social
don't
media.
quote, please
each
don't
person-
quote me on this in the paper.
Oh, I don't know if I can guarantee that, but.
I won't say it.
Is there any legal reason why me as a citizen or me as a supervisor cannot go on Facebook and start a poll and ask people?
No, you can do that.
Okay,
You're acting as a citizen, not as a supervisor.
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm just asking. I want to make sure I do not get in trouble by doing something.
No,
But
you-
if I go on the Orrock forum,
Yeah.
I didn't say I'm going to. I said if I do, is there any legal reason against that?
You can do whatever you want. You're
Okay.
free in America. You're free in America. I mean, as a supervisor, I put questions out there. I did it with the speed limits. I did it with a long time ago, I did it with having cars in your yard. I did it with a couple, this thing came before us, what's everybody's opinion? Now, I would suggest, however, that you actually put a vote poll there and that you
That's
don't
what I
have
was-
comments.
That's what I mean.
You just put a vote, what flag you want, and let them pick the dot, and no commenting,
Call a question.
and go from there. We didn't have a,
She did, I made it and Dalton seconded
Yeah,
it.
he's right, we did.
okay.
The motion was to only fly the American flag.
Okay. But to your question, that's the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Nothing happens. Okay,
What was the count?
2 to
2
2.
to 2. All right. We already did septic outhouse, bar, haunted acres. Is this you, Dalton?
Is it me?
It's under planning and zoning.
Well, it's planning and zoning.
I read through it in the packet, but I don't know much about it. It's never made its way to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, what I understand from talking to Brian, the main issue before was the parking.
mhm.
And I hope I'm quoting him correctly, because he called me,
We're talking Brian Adam.
Brian Evans.
Okay. Thank you.
He said that from what he could see, it looked like that had been taken care of. And he said,
Okay, we have any definition as to how he knows that's been taken care of?
he took the packet with him.
That, okay. Okay.
And he said
So
the
nothing
only
more than
thing is that in the past, that the people who attended it liked to park in the ditch, and that it was very steep, and it was something that you should keep an eye
I drove by there and I don't know how people can park down there. It's a pretty
It's-
I mean,
significant grade
onto the property.
onto the property.
It's
It's a good
awful.
grade.
It's all on the road.
But I think if you read it from,
It's 200
they
feet.
solved, last year they were able to do it.
Really?
I believe it was 2 years ago was when the complaints about parking and neighbors couldn't get into their areas and stuff like that.
Well, they also were complaining a couple of years ago too about, they were actually accessing the property when they were coming out, all their lights were shining in their houses or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. that's-
Yep, that's true.
But it, like I said, it sounded to me like those were all resolved in reading them.
Yeah, there's,
Um,
within the yellow lines, there's no, the ditch there, it's such
So-
a steep.
I don't think they can't park on the road anymore.
No,
No.
they're installing signs 200 feet in each direction.
I will tell you that on different occasions, I was by there during that. Yeah, okay. I guess I would not agree with that. From
That
might have
was-
been the day that I was there,
That it was resolved,
Yeah.
or?
might have been the day that I was there.
What wasn't resolved, like the parking issue or the lights into the neighbors?
Yes.
Both?
The traffic is horrendous.
And it's, you know, you can't control where people park. I mean, you can put signs up, but, you know, that
But I really
road
think-
isn't very
I really
wide
think
if
that
you're
this-
double parking in certain areas and.
Yeah. I do think that it is gonna end up being the county's problem. I mean, we need to sign, they're requesting an IUP, and we need to make township comments. We don't have to make a decision about anything. I guess I would just make sure that, my comment would be that the no parking signs are clear and visible to avoid any issues. I don't know what else we can do. At the end of the day, the county's gonna get this. Anybody have any other comments?
Moving along, I'll make the motion that we,
We don't need a motion, I'm asking if there's
Says
anybody
action.
other comments. How about if I pass this down, if you have something to write on it, please do of your own accord.
it says action.
I think the action is the comments.
The action is the
Yeah,
comments.
action is the comments.
So I just
Well,
Put,
sorry.
I put that down there, each board member can write in their comments if they have any, and we will accept all of them. Because the letter from Mitch is township comments are needed. Attached are the approved conditions in the packet.
But if there's already no parking sign.
So there's, in the packet, which,
Where are they planning on parking?
so, in the packet,
On the property itself?
so, in the packet, the rules are in there about having security, providing that to the sheriff's office, the operation hours, the sound meters. Existing house may not be accessible to event participants, septic system stuff, exterior lighting, sanitary, all that. So, the only thing I didn't see anything in here was, it says no parking signs will be posted at a distance of 200 feet. That's, I think it might wanna be
Further,
further.
yeah.
That's the only thing I said about the parking.
I'd walk 200 feet.
Right, but that will be my comment. If you have a different
Yeah.
comment, feel free
No.
to write it on the sheet.
I would say that's.
You guys wanna have any further discussion, or you just wanna write your stuff on the sheet?
Well, you can write mine.
Okay, moving on.
That's the only thing I would say
Roads.
is that the no parking sign should be further. And then
Spring road tour.
headlights going in and out of people's property. I mean,
So we need to schedule the spring road tour. everybody want to throw out a bunch of dates, get them out to Shelley, and then,
Brian said he's open in April, just let him know.
anytime in April?
He's open in April.
It's open in April. All right.
I'll throw you some.
I'm more concerned that it's coordinated with the road committee. So I would take their dates first, so the road committee people, so Brian's April. Peter, do you have certain dates that are good or not good for you? Aren't you the, and you're the third one, Dalton?
Am I? I don't think so.
No,
Who's the alternate?
I think Dalton's the alternate, but Kevin is on the committee
Right.
too.
Dalton is the alternate.
Dalton's the alternate, and you're on the, you're
Yeah,
the,
but he doesn't.
you don't go on the road tour,
Tim
but
is
you're
right
the,
under the road.
no, no, I mean, they were just asking who's on the road committee. Dalton's the alternate, that's my point, okay.
May I make the suggestion, we just, each of us contact Shelley, and then she looks at,
That's what I said. But then
I
they wanted
thought
to
you were
put
gonna
dates
list
out.
them all now.
They wanted to put dates out.
Now?
Oh, I
Me
was
too.
just
I
looking
can,
at
I
my
can,
phone.
I'm just looking at my phone.
Okay, everybody get dates to Shelley.
Okay.
Can you, everybody do it within 24 hours?
Are we assuming it's a weekend? Is it a fair assumption?
Let's say by the end of the week, because I don't know when Brian's coming back. I mean, yeah, April's open, but, something.
By the end of the week, I'll try to get mine to you I leave tomorrow, but okay. The end, okay. There's no tomorrow for me. My flight leaves at 6 a.m. Okay. Get the dates to Shelley by the end of the week, please. West Eagle Lake Improvement Project. You, Mr. Engineer.
Hey, just want to give you guys a quick update on West Eagle Lake. We're working with the county on some permitting items. They want us to treat the water because we're adding curb and gutter. Kind of a new request, but we're working through that process. And we're working on it. Hard to know. Depends on how many times they ask us to revise our plans and
To treat the water, or to have ponds where then it settles, like we do down on the other end?
so treatment would include like running it across grass surfaces for far enough that it would have the sediment deposit out before it gets to the wetland. The
So we can't
specific,
use holding tanks. What I'm saying are spots, ponds,
There-
water ponds.
well, we don't really have anywhere, the biggest one that's the problem is the southeast corner by our pond wetland. That's the biggest problem we have. Currently, we just don't have any room to put a pond in, so we're trying to figure out other ideas or show that we're not actually increasing the amount of volume of untreated water to the pond, so.
Okay, because going down the hill, east of my place, down the hill, there's a couple homes and garage. And then we were gonna then send it to the right into the swamp. We were gonna put curbing down that side.
Yep.
So we gotta do something different there.
Potentially. So we're working through that. Just as a heads up, it's a process. And then the culvert on the very south end by the county road there, that is deemed as part of the lake, so we actually need a DNR permit. That one's kind of a surprise as well, because it's technically an ordinary high water level.
You're making me so sad right now.
I know, it's really, it's been really fun, that this is all of a sudden popping up 3 months after the county had plans. Giving a lot of,
No more cookies for you.
But that section,
it's
we don't
considered
own it.
the culvert. Yeah, because it crosses underneath. Talking about one that goes by that ditch.
By, on 234th and 75.
But it's on 234, under 234.
And also coming across 75,
Yep, that one we don't have to do anything.
right? But it's their water, it's the county's water
No, it's actually part of the lake. It's lake water, that's the problem.
running.
Because it's
It
technically
does run
in
both
the,
ways.
it's in the ordinary high water level. So technically, that is considered a traversable waterway. So we have to go through the hoops.
So what we're saying now, we're gonna be probably shooting for September.
Well, we're hopefully going to have everything wrapped up before then.
But I mean, construction.
It might delay construction a little bit, but it all depends. If the DNR is, the DNR one is not the issue, it's the county and. So if we do nothing and we don't add curb and gutter and we allow the side of our roads to erode away and go down to that wetland, that is permitted automatically, right? So we just need to prove to him that adding curb and gutter and not letting all the erosion happen along the edge of the road is a better idea than letting it erode. So, it's a process, we're working through it, and, we'll get there, so.
Brian wanted me to make it known to you that October is not good.
I talked to him, don't worry. You told me.
Also, I had another resident from over there asking when you're gonna start work.
We don't know yet. I can ask the contractor, it's slightly dependent on these permits as well, but I'll ask the contractor and check and see. Once we have a locked-in date, I'll let everybody know. But it's still kind of up in the air.
That's what I meant about September, then, rather than shooting for late April, May, it's probably realistically gonna start in August,
That
September.
was originally their plan anyways, was later. They wanted to wait until it dried up a bit and not in. Last year's May and June is kind of scaring contractors from starting a job that has a lake right next to it. So everyone's a little gun shy with how wet of a spring we had last year. So they were planning on waiting until a little bit later in the year anyways.
Once we get a specific date, we still need to contact the school.
Yep.
That changes their bus route.
Yeah, that'll be part of our coordination piece that
Okay,
they're on our list of folks.
okay, I just,
That's not, okay.
Different topic.
Sorry,
The past,
sorry.
it was the past topic on there.
Sorry, okay. Any further questions for our engineer? Any further update besides that? But can you give us any good news?
Project came, project sounds, we're gonna be all right. We got a very good contractor, so
Okay.
I'm very excited about that.
Thank you much.
My preferred list of folks to work on this project.
Okay. Obviously, number 10, Adams is not here. Dalton,
Nothing.
Belber, we've gone through all of the things. Nothing. Go ahead. Owen?
Just a few things.
Okay.
You all are aware of the logging issues that are taking place on 233rd, and as of tonight, I noticed on 180th Street as well, but that was a quick, they were in, logged, and out in a day, but they did some work on the road, but the area that's in question is down here. They're logging like right in here, and they're coming out and going down and getting on 15 loaded with logs. And the logs were stacked about a mile high. Was in contact with the sheriff's department. They're gonna keep an eye on the road and check on it. We've already approved to have some signs erected to try to mitigate that, to give the county some means to get the scales out there and check them. This is what the road looks like as of now. I believe Daryl was down there this fall and graded that, before it looks like this, but like the sheriff said, you know, with the driving in and out of there in the wintertime and stuff like that, we can't be verified that that's not from the past.
Just to clarify, I believe the DNR did all that work, not Darrell, on that stretch.
I think he was down
The DNR added a bunch of gravel on that stretch of road last fall,
last fall.
and then they graded it out, yeah. I think Darrell let us know about it, but I thought it
Oh,
was
okay.
the DNR. I could be wrong though too. You could ask Darrell.
I'll have to, I wanted to talk to him before I started, but I didn't get a chance to, but, so that's what it looks like currently, so I've taken documents to, you know, hey, this is what the road looks like now, so hopefully it doesn't get any worse than it is with them logging on that road. But yeah, the logs were stacked high. There's the logging company, there's one of the trucks, he was actually getting ready to haul out while I was in there. He was actually kind of a snippy guy, he was telling me to get moving, I'm like, no, I'm taking pictures, buddy, sorry. So, but that's one of the companies, or I'm assuming he's an owner-operator, he's not technically assigned to a company. So, but there was no logging equipment, so I could get information, but, you know, on the other side of that truck, you could start seeing the logs, and it's all up and down that road. So they're gonna be hauling in and out of there for days, maybe even weeks. So, but yeah, I stopped in the parking lot, caught him hauling out. So, but that's an ongoing issue that I've got going with the, so I'm monitoring it, situation, and
Do we get notifications that
No,
they're gonna be logging?
no, I happened to stumble across this.
This was one of the questions, again, that we discussed about, like, why, we have discussed was why don't we have that communication? Why aren't we getting some kind of cooperation?
From the
And
DNR.
From the DNR or
Saying,
anybody.
hey, we're gonna be in here. whatever.
Because
So
they know
we-
they're overweight.
Because they're overweight and they're doing it when they're not supposed to.
I brought it up last month, and that's what's bothering me, is that these trucks and the logging and other things are damaging our roads, and we get $5,000 to $10,000 at the most from the state for roads because of the acreage that they have here, am I correct?
Yeah. Agriculture money.
And what does the local taxpayer pay in our area? Maybe we ought to contact our legislators a little bit more. Because this is every year.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Couple other things. Next week, I will be out of town. I'm going to take my family to Florida for spring break, so I'll be gone the 31st through the 6th, but I told Darrell my phone will be on me, so if you need to contact me or something, and maybe Dalton.
I was gonna say, is that the week I'm supposed to be backing up for you?
Brian's
Thanks for
back.
No,
When did Brian leave?
Brian will be back tonight,
oh, he'll be back
When
tonight.
did he leave?
Last,
Wednesday.
Oh, just a couple days.
yeah, he's just going for, they're just skiing.
So,
Feel quick.
I made the joke to Brian that if our meeting went long enough tonight, he could still make it.
so, just a FYI for you, I'll be gone. The other thing, I did sign up for the legal seminar in June, so I'll be going to that. Becker Township has reached out to me about a meeting.
That was the other one, yeah.
Becker Township reached out to me about a meeting for 243rd. I gave them a list of dates so I can meet with their engineers. And I reached out with Kevin and stuff, and I haven't gotten nothing.
So this
I
is,
believe all of our dates we sent him have come and gone.
this is
Yep,
this
for the
is
most
a repeat from Kevin and I last year. And then the frantic email from Lucinda, like, get these dates, and I sent it over to you, and
Yep,
then
I-
that,
I
and then
sent
here we are
her-
again,
I
so.
sent her just about every Friday in March and nothing. So,
I'll add a slight little bit of news onto that as well. So Bogart Peterson did get purchased.
Yes, they did.
So it is now a different company, just, so that might change things a little bit, but
okay.
it'll be slow.
Yep. But thank you for both of you responding very quickly to me and to each other about, I get this thing and like they wanna do it, and I get in touch with these guys and they're on it and out the door it went. So thank you very much to you two for that.
So, and then my last thing, the recent plowing that we had during the recent snowstorms, a lot of positive feedback
Saw that on
on
Facebook.
social media about how well we plowed and how well we did this last storm, so.
I
There
concur.
There was a comment that we were better than the county roads.
You were better than the
Yes.
county. Matter of fact, Commissioner Felber noted to me that, hey, you guys got called out for being better than the county on your plowing. So he said, kudos to Peter is what he said to me, so, and Daryl. So, yes, thank you very much.
All right, that's it for me.
All right, Mr. Ellinger.
I signed up for the legal one. Did you?
I did too.
I will this week. Haven't got to it.
All right. Anything else? Mr. Ellinger? No. All right, moving on, number 11.
Alright, so the cash control, summary, that shows you the totals in each of the accounts for this past month. And it is balancing against our, C-test reports with the receipts and the cash. And anybody have any questions on that? Otherwise, the investment update is where I am requesting to, on our balance for the debit card, I'm requesting to transfer $610.16. And then with the checking account, requesting to transfer $52,939.38. Anybody have any questions on?
How are we transferring from the checking account to the debit card?
So I transfer it from the checking to the debit card, and then I just do the full amount. It's either one, I'm gonna make it from money market or whatever, I just take the full amount from money market to the checking, and cover both.
And the debit card's just a way of doing that, you mean, to transfer it?
Debit card, I'm just keeping it up to the 2,000.
No, we have a debit card that they can use.
Yeah, but you don't transfer money to a debit card. A debit card's just a vehicle of using a checking account.
Well, it's actually our credit card, kind of a debit, is how we record them.
I see what you're saying, okay.
Sorry. That is our credit card that we
Yeah.
use.
Gotcha, okay.
And I just transfer it from our checking to the debit card, and then I make one big thing from our money market instead of multiple.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? I make a motion that we approve the cash control statement and investment update.
Second?
Seconded by Paul. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. All right, treasurer's report?
You can see the cash control balance and stuff, for the end of the month right now. So I'm gonna show you that each fund, the general, road, fire, and that, the escrows and stuff there. And then on the next, reports that's also attached to that, kind of goes through and, breaks them down by each of the more detailed information for you. Have any questions on that one?
Anybody have any questions or concerns? If not, I would make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then, pledge, securities pledge validation from the balances there of checking, CD and stuff that way, and then being pledged to be able to cover that so we are not short.
That is for review only, so does anybody have any questions or concerns before we end the report of the treasurer's business? Hearing none. Okay. Announcements, would you like to do that, Madam Clerk?
April board meeting is Wednesday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. The local board of appeal and equalization meeting is Wednesday, April 8th at 6 p.m. SCAT meeting is Wednesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. Dinner's at 6 p.m. at the Sherburne History Center. And just to make sure everybody remembers, we will also be discussing the sirens beginning at 6 o'clock.
I will not be here for that meeting. I'll be in Ohio again for work.
What, you talking about April 8th or April 22nd?
15th. Just the SCAT meeting, so not,
Oh, the SCAT, okay,
no, I'll be there for the other two.
okay.
And I have them in my calendar as the right date this time.
The recycle day is Saturday, May 16th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Brenda still hasn't told me who all she's gonna have, but I told her that you volunteered for.
We have, I think we're supposed to have at least two.
All my kids wanna come again, so we're good.
We're covered.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you much.
And Township Legal Seminar, as you guys already know, it's June 25th, in Albertville City Hall.
Any other agenda items anybody thought of, hasn't thought of, wants to bring up before we call it?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's non-debatable. Meeting adjourned.
Debating on that one, pretty cool, and post it on Facebook.